everyone. Welcome back to the Local Loop. And today I am pleased to be sitting here with Lauren Elliott. Thank you so much for meeting with us, Lauren.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So Lauren is the assessor for the town of Greenwich, this beautiful town that we love. And it's so interesting just talking to you here, Lauren, and learning about what you do and how you figure out how to assess everyone's home so that we can determine how much tax you're going to pay, right?
Yes. So let me give you a little background, because not only do we tax just real estate, but we also tax motor vehicles and personal property, and that's business personal property. So in total, the town of Greenwich has roughly $33 billion
Which is a lot.
worth of value that we tax, and that's what we base our taxes, your taxes, and that's how we come up with the mill rate.
Yeah, and this is what you call the grand list, right?
Exactly.
Interesting. So a question off topic, the mill rate, does that apply to all personal, like your cars as well? Is it the same rate?
Yes, the only difference we have is on real estate was whether or not you are part of the sewer or not.
Or septic.
Right, but other than that, the town of Greenwich has a single rate that's applied to everything throughout.
Got it. And so I was just talking with Lauren, and we found out that you assess every 5 years. And so we're in the year 2020 now, and it's time to get your walking shoes on.
It's that wonderful time, 2020, for our revaluation. We are required by state statute every 5 years to reassess the properties and bring them up to what we consider fair market value, or within a certain percentage, statistically between 5 and 10% of fair market value. And that's what, as of October 1st, 2020, we're going to try to determine everyone's fair market value of their home.
So Lauren was just telling me that she has to go to 16,000 of these homes. And do you ever knock on the door to say, or no?
Oh, sure. And actually, we've done majority of them. I think we only have about 1,600 left. So over the last...
That's why she's so fit, because she's been walking around all these properties.
It hasn't been me. I have a staff. And basically what we've been doing, what we do is, first of all, we always go out if there's a building permit. Somebody pulls a building permit on your property, we are out there to determine whether or not we need to make any changes to your value. So we're always out there anyway doing permits on a year-to-year basis.
Interesting. So not only, like when you pull a building permit, not only is the guy coming to check that the plumbing is done correctly and the electric, but the assessor actually comes out.
And we're usually the last ones out there, so that you're all not very happy to see us, and I apologize for that. But yes, but once we have either a CO or we know that there's a final inspection, we'll go out. Say somebody builds a 2-car garage. We'll go out there, and as long as it's complete by October 1st, we'll add it to that corresponding grand list. So every year, when all the new construction that's going on out there, we're out there checking out and adding that value to our grand list during the years that we don't do a revaluation.
Got it. Okay, here's a trick question. What if your renovation is done October 5th? Then it goes on to the grand list for when?
No, because what we do is we look at, as of October 1st, you are probably 99.9% complete.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So we look at it at two points. One, when, as of October 1st of every year, but also when you finally finish it as well. So if you don't finish your house until March, I still add on from March on. I will look at it, say you're 50% complete as of October 1st, 2020.
Yeah.
And then you've completed as of March 2021. I'm going to have 50%, and then I'm going to send you a supplemental bill to add on that extra.
I see. Yes. Okay. So she's not working every 5 years. You're working every day, actually.
Yeah, exactly. This office is actually quite busy.
Right.
Regardless of whether we're doing a revaluation or not.
Interesting. So let's talk about someone gets their tax bill and it changes substantially, and they feel like they would like to grieve their taxes. I know this is a practice that often happens in Westchester County because
it's the same here. We have a procedure for that. Now, during years that are not revaluation years, for instance, this year, we just finished the grand list of October 2019.
Okay.
We will send out notices to anybody whose assessment we have changed from the prior year. We are required by law to send you out a notice. You then have the ability to, if you don't like what we have, your assessment, you think there's an issue with it, you are able to file to the Board of Assessment Appeals, and those appeals are due by February 20th.
Got it.
Every year. Okay, so you have to make an appeal to the Board of Assessment Appeals. They will then set an appointment for you in March. Somebody does have to appear, and then you'll be able to state your case before the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Got it. And so when you say someone has to appear, it's not necessarily the homeowner. You
No,
could
you can
hire
get
someone
you can get an agent or somebody else to do it. But you have to have written authorization. You can't just let anybody come in and
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then, So procedurally, the owner has to sign the application, or should be signing the application, and should also, if they can't themselves or don't want to make the appeal, they need to have written authorization for that person to do so.
Got it.
Because I have an obligation to make sure the town notifies the proper parties as to whether or not we've notified you if we've changed your assessment. If you still don't agree with what the Board of Assessment Appeals has done, you have the ability to go to Superior Court, and you have to do that within 60 days of your notice.
Wow. Okay.
So usually by May, sometime in May. If you
Right.
want to appeal this to Superior Court, you certainly may, but you have to file with the court within a certain time.
And you already answered this, because my question was, because I know some people who have won their appeal and some who have not. I was like, well, who makes up the difference of that money if you've counted on this? But it sounds like you already keep.
So I estimate for the board, for the BET, for the Board of Estimate and Taxation, every year exactly how much I think we're going to lose in the value of the grand list based upon the Board of Assessment Appeals, and also how much we've had to give back for tax settlements.
Got it.
Now let me explain one thing though with the revaluation. The appeal process is a little different. Because it's a revaluation, we also give, I sign the grand list, we'll send 20-some-odd thousand notices out to everybody that owns real estate here in the town of Greenwich sometime in the month of November.
Okay.
We hire consultants to help us do the revaluation. So in the 2015 revaluation, we had, during the months of November, December, and part of January, you have the ability, before I sign the grand list, to come in and talk to the revaluation companies.
Oh,
And so at that point we can sit down and they're very informal, and we can sit down at that point and say, okay, do we have the information about your property, is it correct or not? And the representatives will go over to make sure we have the right number of bathrooms, fireplaces, year built, that kind of thing.
Interesting. So one of the appeals of living in Greenwich is that we are notorious for having very low taxes.
Yes.
And so tell us where we stack up compared to other communities.
So I think within the state of Connecticut, you are either the lowest or you're tied with the town of Salisbury as far as the effective tax rate. Your tax rate is less than 1%.
Wow.
Majority of towns in the Northeast are usually between 1 and 2. Some are even over 2 to 3%. So based upon the value of your property, your taxes are
very low.
Very low.
And for such a wonderful community.
Exactly. Yeah.
So people always ask me this, like, why are our taxes so much lower than, say, the surrounding communities around us?
It's a combination of two things, I think. First of all, the value, you have a lot of value here.
Right.
When you increase your mill rate by 1 cent, you get a lot, because you're at 33 billion versus some, most of the municipalities don't have values this high.
Right.
They also don't have the same makeup. Town of Greenwich is very unique in its makeup of commercial and residential properties.
Correct. And that's what I always thought, is because of the commercial property. It helps offset a lot of the homeowners.
But a majority of your value is still with the homeowners.
Interesting.
It is. It's still with the single family homes. Even though you do have a good commercial base.
Right.
The majority of value is with your residential homes.
Great.
And condos.
Great. Well, this has been very informative. Thank you so much. I know you're super busy, and thank you for taking time out to talk to people so that they understand a little bit more about mill rate and taxes and the assessor, and it's super interesting. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time on the Local Loop.